Hello, I'm Wendy Blaxland. Gregory Blaxland the explorer was my great-great-great-great-grandfather.
And I'm Jessica, Wendy's daughter. We're here in London at the moment doing the last research for a show we're working on called Crossing for the 2013 bicentenary of the Blaxland, Wentworth and Lawson crossing of the Blue Mountains.
We're creating a play. I'm the writer and Jessica and I are co-producing because we want to bring alive the history of our ancestor, but also for everyone in the Blue Mountains. Not only in the Blue Mountains, but the wider community. What are you going to see in Crossing? Well, obviously, the Blaxland, Wentworth and Lawson crossing of the Blue Mountains, but that's only one of a number of crossings. You have Aboriginals who've been through here for thousands of years. A whole number of other European crossings before Blaxland, Wentworth and Lawson, which were earlier and not as well known, but we think are equally important. And after them, you have Evans, who was the surveyor. You have Cox, who with his party of 30 convicts built the road. Then you have other people like Mrs. Elizabeth Hawkins, who not very many people have heard of, but she and her husband took their 8 children, ranging from a 12-year-old down to a baby, and her mother, and all their worldly goods, on a bullock dray through the Blue Mountains to be the first party of free settlers in Bathurst. Then, of course, we have Louisa Meredith. She's the person that we finish with. She's a wonderful writer and illustrator, and she has some very funny things to say about what it's like going through the Blue Mountains. And we're going to bring all of these alive in a play just created for you.
One of the unique things about theatre is that it is alive, that it is there in front of you, that you can see these stories with your imagination and through the skills of the actor right there in front of you. I know in our particular production we're going to use things like songs, like authentic costumes, like only 3 actors and a big chest to bring to life the whole of, like, I know it sounds corny, but the majesty of the mountains. The majesty of the mountains, and they're so beautiful. And so with these 3 actors, the audience can really see these amazing landscapes. And of course, we've got so many different characters. We've got a 70-year-old woman, we've got a baby, we've got a horse, we've got bullocks, we've got Blaxland, Wentworth and Lawson themselves, and 3 actors, so they have to switch between them. And that's one of the most miraculous things to see on stage, to see this switching. And of course, taking the audience on these emotional journeys as well as just the educational one, taking them with these actors so that you really can see over the mountains and see what Blaxland, Wentworth and Lawson saw over the other side, so that you can go on the journey with these bullocks, who many of whom did die on this journey, and so you can go on some of our favourite stories, one which Mum tells much better than me.
One of the funny ones. I really like what Captain William Dumarick said about his night spent in an inn on top of the Blue Mountains. It was a dirty little inn. He'd had a nasty meal, and there he was sitting on his bed with a candle guttering out in a broken saucer. He glanced behind him and he saw on the cloth wall a large tarantulope, as he called it. His companion saw it at the same time, grabbed a fork, tried to run it through, missed it. The tarantulope fell into the bed, and of course the companion had knocked over the candle, so there they were with a live tarantulope scuttling in the bedclothes in the dark. And just at that moment they heard someone from the next room say, "Oh, lots of tarantelopes in that there room." Now to me that is just dying to be brought alive in front of an audience, because that's what we want to do. That's the aim of the whole production, is to bring alive the history of the Blue Mountains for its people. And we very much hope that you're going to be able to join us. So, 2013, see you in the Blue Mountains and see you at Crossing, the play.